that I still get goosebumps every time I watch it.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. I
It is.
love
It's like
it. It's
I was like,
fantastic.
I can't believe you did that. You just like threw it together in 2 days, and then
Yep.
and it was like, oh my god, I can't believe you
Ah,
did
that's
that.
awesome.
Um.
Hello, hello, everyone. Hello.
So
Kia
hi
ora.
everybody. Oh, somebody likes my
Hey.
little gators and turtles and crawfish. Yeah, you have,
Yeah.
when you do a membership, you can either use avatars that they, like generic ones that they put out, you
Yes.
can use, or you can create your own. Well, I couldn't create.
Ooh.
I just had to go AI, chat GPT. I want this and I want this and I want this, and get the
Yeah, it's
pictures to come
awesome,
up,
isn't it?
and then
Yep.
picked out the ones that I like the best,
Yeah.
and made
It's
them. So
fantastic.
we've got our bebe turtles, which are that's the lowest level, and then we've got the Cajun crawfish, that's the upper level for memberships, and then I
Nice.
got the Mardi Gras alligators. So just
Ooh, yum.
cruising down the road, and eventually I think I'm going to add another layer of membership, and it'll be the alligator ones. So um,
Yeah.
I just
Very, very
don't
cool.
have time right now to do another level. I'm
Yeah,
doing
that's
good to keep
cool.
up with members now as it is. So um, thank you,
Awesome.
everybody, for coming, and some of you just hopping over to another show because I just got off a wonderful show with Deborah Zackow, and
She's amazing. We love her.
talking
Hey,
about
Deborah.
her brand new book, I Have Your Number.
Fantastic.
So y'all keep an eye out for that. As
That's
soon
cool.
as
I
I
love that
know that
title.
it's going to go release, I'll post it. Trust me.
Yep.
And
That's really cool.
but right now, I am just so glad that I have my beautiful friend and dear
Oh,
sister, Dr. Ann, back on
mm,
the channel. It's
thank
been a
you.
rough year for you, and
Yep.
I'm glad
Heck
that you're
yeah.
back and you're smiling and you look healthy
Thank you.
and you're
Thank
here.
you.
And I'm like, yay, she's back.
Yay. Thank
And
you.
because I've
Thank you. Thank
missed
you.
you. So
I miss
um,
you too. Yep.
thank
Cool.
you, everybody, for joining us. And oh, my
Yeah.
cat just jumped big time. Okay, go back.
Okay. I just want to say real quick, everybody. Because many of your names I haven't met before, so it's a pleasure to meet you. But where I'm from in New Zealand, it's really appropriate to say an appropriate welcome and an introduction of myself. So I'm going to speak in Te Reo Maori, which is the native language of the indigenous peoples in New Zealand. So it's a brief greeting. So kia ora koutou katoa, ko Dr. Ann toko ingoa. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou te katoa. So I just said, hey, everybody, welcome. I'm Dr. Ann, and it's really nice to meet you. And I said it to everybody here. And so I'm acknowledging the ancestors that have brought us here together and connected us. And you know what? I am just getting buzzed really hard by my ancestors right now. So one of the ways that I feel things is I'll get goosebumps. Their energy will touch my energy, and so they just wanted me to make sure I introduce myself the right way. And I'm sorry
There you
about the
go.
lighting. I'm in New Zealand, so it's spring and it's cloudy, and then we get rain, and then we get sun, and then we get wind. It's crazy right now. So, and I've got
Sounds like
natural light.
Louisiana.
Yeah, but it's spring, so I'm still wearing a sweatshirt because it's cold. And I'm actually a proper doctor. I'm actually an academic at a university here in New Zealand, but also with me and over time, and it really kicked in during COVID. I've become super connected with the other side and also with celestial beings. Okay, aside from angelic ones, we're talking about extraterrestrial, non-Terran, non-Earth-based beings. So, and
The little green
just
men from Mars, as most people like to
yeah,
think of them as.
yeah, but they are not little
But
and
they're
they are
not
not
green, they're
green.
not little, and they're not from Mars. So,
No, well,
some of them are
and
blue, and some
yeah,
of them are purple, and some of them are,
hey, hey, hey,
I don't
hey,
know, kind
yeah,
of multicolor, and some are big, and some are
yeah.
little, and
It's
some look
just
like
really
different things. And
amazing.
so,
Yeah.
um, I like
What's
Acadian Proud put this in Laissez le bon temps rouler, which is an important phrase down here. It means let the good times roll.
oh well,
And
there you
so
go. Even better.
that's it. And as
Yeah.
far as introductions for people you've known a long time, is bonsoir. and
It
and
sounds
yeah,
cool.
so, or bienvenue.
Hey,
Um,
yep. Marby, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in ages.
welcome.
And Acadian
Yeah,
Proud, it's an education. So I'm an educationalist, is what they call it in
there
those
you
circles.
go. Well, and she's my
But
Cajun cousin on top of it. So,
oh, that's
um,
even better. Yeah, I
because
love
because we're all related somewhere down the
it.
line. When you're a
You took
Cajun,
the words right out of my mouth.
somewhere we're connected.
Yeah,
So it's like
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
yeah, okay, you're a cousin somewhere.
What is it? It's like 3 degrees of separation in the United States. Here it's 1 degree. So that means what this means, you guys, is like you're 3 people away from knowing somebody or connected with somebody in your social circle. So here in New Zealand, it's so freaking small. I mean, we have only 5 million people for the entire country, which is like the size of a city in America, maybe. Um, seriously, you're one person away from knowing everyone. So it's really kind of
Yeah, well,
crazy
that's
and
how it
cool at
is
the same
in
time.
smaller towns, especially in the South.
Oh yeah. Oh
You're
gosh. You know
usually
everybody.
one person away from knowing who they're connected to, and it's
Hmm.
like, oh, who's your mama and daddy, or who's your grandpapa, and who's your granddaddy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They
Yeah.
connected to this one, and they married that one, and so yeah, it's we're all interconnected.
Yep. We
Acadian
sure are.
Proud asked, "What is your field of research at
Oh yeah.
university?"
Yeah, it's education, but a lot right now we're conducting a lot of research on artificial intelligence in education, which is probably you've seen. Oh, what's the point of the getting a degree and going into debt when I can use AI for a job? So we are dealing with that on a global scale, but at university, my team, there's 3 of us on our team. They're really deep diving into understanding that and what it means in terms of the education context. But
There you
I've
go.
I've been looking at agents for woo-woo type topics, and creating stuff in AI for that. And I'm actually seen somebody who's created an AI agent for woo-woo topics already in LA.
Oh,
So anyway,
awesome.
what's an agent? Okay, so artificial intelligence. Okay, the ones that you've heard of are ChatGPT, Claude. What's the Microsoft one called? Oh, I'm having a moment. Anyway, there's truckloads of them, right? It's all new. They're large language models, which means it goes on the predictability of the next word, right? And basically, they learn off of corpus or a large body of information, multiple databases, right? Then they have a learning program that learns from that. And then they learn from people inputting their questions into it and then throwing back responses based on that. Okay. So
Yep.
there's a lot going on. That's an AI, LLM AI. Then you can add an agent to it, which means you as a human can program this little agent to go do things. And their common ones are like to say, okay, look at my schedule for today. Help me prioritize the tasks and how much time I should associate with them, and include breaks and include time off the computer, whatever you want.
Oh,
And
that's
it'll
one I
go do
need.
that. So, I mean, yeah, go find me $1 million for free. Right? It won't do that. But you can do things like that. So what we're doing is creating things that are called agents. For example, I've seen an agent for an English paper that's got to be a particular way, olden days, when you had to write a paper. It will go through and say, consider doing this with your introduction. So, and it's particular, and you learn it and train it on the context of the research area of the paper you want the student to
Mm-hmm.
write. That's called an agent. So they can be helpful and represent your teaching voice when you aren't there. So that gives you an example. I don't know why I went off on that tangent. Sorry, guys. Sorry if it's boring. I've got more exciting stuff to talk about too, though.
Oh, Windwalker says the one problem with AI is gigo,
Garbage
garbage
in,
in,
garbage
garbage out.
out. And that is
That's true
so
in regular
true.
everyday life. That's
Everything.
true.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um,
Yep.
let's see.
Yep. And they do AI
There
engines,
was
as
one
you
more.
know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Acadian Proud
Oh,
says, I have
yay.
family in Wellington,
Oh,
and
nice.
I have
Great.
family who are academics in information systems.
Well,
Okay.
you're probably plugged into that more than I am, Acadian, but that's awesome. Very, very cool.
Awesome, awesome. And there was one
Yeah.
more that was
See, one
directed
degree of
to
separation in New Zealand, right?
Tapioca Thievery, and I love that name. Is
Yeah.
it
Well,
green all year round in New Zealand? No,
sure
there's snow.
is. except for when you go up north, it looks kind of like California in summer. You know, the grass is dry. So you've got two main islands in New Zealand, the North Island and the South Island. And if you look at a map, the traditional map, that the long skinny one is the North Island, and that's where most of the population lives. And then the skinny part, up the further you go, there's a beach even called 90 Mile Beach that you can drive a car on. I know, but you've got to be really careful about the tide times, or you could get your car flooded. And
Yeah.
it's really crazy. Yeah, we almost did that, and my husband gave me a freaking heart attack. Just a side note. But up there, it's the brush turns brown and the grasses, but you still get what they're called ponga trees, which are these like large fern trees that you see in depictions of dinosaur times. You know, those big tall trees and the big ferns and all that. That's all down here in New Zealand, and you get a lot of it is really similar with Tasmania. Yep, thank you, Sue Toppy. You got it.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, I'm going to give y'all a
yeah,
little sneak peek of what Dr. Ann is talking about.
cool. Let's do it.
And let's see here.
I've had a lot of coffee, so if
Yeah.
I'm speaking too quickly, let me know. I call it speaking in staccato.
Let's see here. Let me get the right. Yes.
But Tapioca Thievery,
Mm.
go to the South Island. That's where Lord of the Rings was filmed. You get some of that in parts of the South Island and everything. Okay, cool. Oh, I love that. That's very cool.
Where did it go? It just disappeared on me. Damn it. I had it.
Okay, cool.
I had it and it disappeared. Let me go back and find it again. I must have bumped the wrong button.
All good.
Which I'm very good at doing.
Food's really good. The seafood's super delicious here. It's very clean waters, comparatively speaking. The air is super fresh. Yeah.
There
I like
we go.
that. Oh, yes.
That's New Zealand.
That's
sunset, I think you said.
Yep, that's at sunset. Yep. That was just a nice day. And that's the ocean over there. You're looking at that body of water. But the clouds are.
There you go.
So Aotearoa is a Te Reo Maori name for New Zealand, and it means land of the long white cloud. And I'll tell you what, there are long white clouds every day, but the clouds are magnificent. If you like that kind of thing, and sunsets, I mean, every day it's just a different, beautiful feature. It is. And Marby, you've got to come. I mean, I'd be happy to meet somebody for a cup of coffee somewhere, and
absolutely.
It's beautiful. And now they've got digital nomad visas. Sherry, you might be able to qualify for that. Things, don't work out stateside for us types in these crazy times. But
make a run for it. Yeah, New Zealand would be a great place to live. So I wouldn't have, they speak English. So
yeah. And well, the US dollar
that would kind of be my base thing of moving to another country. What language do they talk?
Yeah,
because I don't speak anything else but English. So, I mean, all right. Let me see. I'm trying to grab some questions here before I forget. As y'all know, I have a thing now with Otter Spirit, and they do these wonderful little bracelets.
Oh, that's
this
so nice.
is the Halloween pack, and it's 3 separate little stretchy bracelets, and they come with a little like metal icon on them that's the face of an otter. With every bracelet they sell, part of the money goes to supporting the wild otters of Monterey Bay in Northern California. And
wow, beautiful. Monterey Bay.
If you use, the information for this is in the description box below. And if you use my link and my promo codes, you can get 20 and or 30% off your order. So, and I just got my first check from them. So I guess somebody bought some stuff with my link. I got a check for like $15. I was like, damn, I'm rolling in it.
You're rolling in it.
You're rolling in it. You're rolling in it.
Now, hey, Miss Sherry, may I say something too that I've got
Yes,
the other
ma'am.
side of me, and you might find this interesting, people that are here right now. Um, for a long time, I thought I was going nuts. Okay, I literally thought I was going mad, as they say here, which means, like, did I need to be institutionalized? Because I kept hearing things and getting messages. And then I started meditating, and all of a sudden, I would get these voices. And all of a sudden, then I would say, okay, what's your name? And then slowly it would start telling me to spell out a name. And over time, I got a name. And then over time, all of a sudden, I got this emerging face, which in my meditations, I started meditating with COVID because I was so scared and being asthmatic. Even then, I thought, okay, I'm gonna probably die. I'm gonna meet my maker, but I need to calm down. I'm not helping anybody in the family. I need to calm down. So I had started meditating and all this stuff. And then, oh wow, Scotland, awesome, Christine. And then after that, I'm like, okay, I'm starting to see, oh, Puerto Rico,
Good for
beautiful.
you, Ruby
Um,
Doo.
I started getting messages from beings that weren't angels, weren't my family passed over, but actually entities from other places in the universe. Okay, so ET types, right? I thought I was going mad. So I sought the advice of somebody who's an advocate from MUFON, and her name's Sevtok, Sevtok. She's on the East Coast of the United States. You can look her up. And I had a counseling session with her because she helps people who are just coming to terms with this kind of contact experience. Even though I didn't have any recollection of being physically in any like ships or not until later, okay? But that was on my own will, that one. Okay. Not that I've been taken or anything, but I was visited by these beings, and now they come and visit me quite often. And there's one that's an insectoid being, and I really thought I was going mental, guys. But when I finally connected with these people, I realized, okay, I'm not crazy, and I'm actually getting visited, and these beings actually have messages. And now it behooves me to be the messenger to you. So one's an insectoid, one is a Palladian. And remember, a Palladian, we can see 7 stars, but there's actually thousands of stars in that system. Remember, our sun is a star, and when we have our little solar system, one star, if you look at the sky with that potential to have one habitable planet for one star, look at all those stars in the sky, and logic dictates that there's going to be some life forms out there somewhere other than, it could be like
Absolutely.
us, could be different looking. And guess what? The ones I've met, and I've met a lot of different ones through these meditations. And what I've started doing was learning how, this is over years, okay? This is over the last 5 or 6 years. I've learned to astral travel, leave my body. I can, when I deep meditate, I can come outside of myself and look at myself. And all of a sudden I'm
I
up.
used to do that when I was about
Yeah.
12,
Oh, wow.
and
Yeah.
then I kind of it kind of scared me because I didn't understand
Yeah.
what was happening, and so I just
Yeah.
quit doing it. And now when I try, it's like it's
Yeah.
not happening yet, but I feel like it's gonna come back. It's
Just,
just
yeah, it will. It's just
gonna
like
take me
riding
a
a
little
bike.
time.
It's a muscle. You got to keep using it, and you got to get your monkey mind, your word
Thank
thoughts
you,
out
at
of your
Time
head.
Matters. That's very
That's really
sweet of you.
sweet. Yeah, thank you, time matters, and it does matter too.
And
And so you jump out of your body, right? And then I would get into a Merkuba. This is supposed to be a sacred shape that protects you when you astral travel. In the middle of
mhm.
something like that, and you're symbiotic with it, meaning you're connected to it, and it I can't explain. It's crazy. Anyway, it's not crazy. It sounds crazy that I'm actually saying these things, but when I'm meditating and experiencing this stuff, it's real. It feels real. I can see these things, and it's wow. So anyway, I get these messages from these beings aside from my normal, guides and like angelic spirit, whatever. But there's 2 key ones. One's a Palladium, one's an insectoid kind of creature. I'm not sure if it's a praying mantis being or not. Some people say yes, but I don't know yet. But I hear their names and all this kind of stuff. So anyway, had a meditation a few days ago. Instantly, one of them, the insectoid being, said, "Look, you need to say this to people." And I'm like, okay. So here's the message. And take with it if it resonates or if it doesn't. Anyway, I'm just putting it out there. This one, his name is Tricor. I know. I didn't make that up. He told me. And it's a male energy. I don't know how you tell it's a male, but it's a male energy. And when he talks to me, I hear clicks, but then I hear words, English words. So there's the background, click, 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 and then his voice comes through. So I know I'm not hallucinating because it keeps repeating. It's, he keep not the same noises, but the different messaging. Anyway, so he said we're on the precipice of change. Humanity will be okay. Do what you can, but be safe.
Yeah.
The alien, and I know that sounds like, okay, that's boring, and I've heard that a million times by now because
But our guides and our ancestors have been telling us the same thing about don't wig out. We're going to come out the other side, the better for this.
Yeah.
It's hard to see when you're in the middle of the chaos because it feels like all you're going to see is chaos. And for right now, that's very true. But it's going to get better. I know my guides have been telling me since November, yes, it's going to get better. It's going to get worse before it gets better because enough people have to actually wake up and realize what's happening. And then once we get to a certain percentage of people that actually wake up and go, wait a damn minute, what the hell? That's when things are going to start changing and getting better. Because at that point, enough people will have that energy out there that I don't want this. This is not what I've ever asked for.
Yeah.
And we need
you hugged a tree. Yay, Sue. Love it. Yeah, I agree. And so, okay, that sounds out there, but the energy is so strong. And then sometimes I get taken behind the moon. There's like a very, very large, it's a galactic ship that I've been on. It gets crazier. It sounds crazy, but it's real. It's real. It's just cloaked. We can't see it. I mean, have you ever wondered why our moon doesn't rotate like everything else does in the, universe?
I've had a lot of questions about why things are the way they are up and out there. And it's funny because I've always, as far back as I can remember, even before people even really talked about it, and when they would just I would hear a comment of just, well, there's just the universe, just us in this universe. And I would instantly hear in my head, no. There are millions and millions of universes. So many that we can't count. That it just it's ever expanding. And so I mean, when it comes to the ET thing, I've never met one. I've never had one talk to me that I'm aware of. It doesn't mean maybe it didn't happen and I just didn't know it. But I saw when I was a teenager, a group of friends of mine and we were all outside one night late. And I happened to look up at the sky and there were three very distinct dancing lights. And at first I thought they were airplanes. And I kept thinking, well, they're flying awfully close together. And then they started doing this amazing dance of these lights. And they weren't like regular lights that you would see on airplanes. Now, we're talking back in the 70s. So that's before drones or anything else that people throw out and say it is now. This was before that stage. And there was like 5 or 6 of us, and we were all just like kicked back, leaning against the car, looking up at the sky, going, oh my God, are you seeing this? And it was these 3 distinct lights, and they were dancing around and doing stuff and changing colors. And we watched them for 30 minutes at least. We just sat staring up at the sky at these dancing lights. And then all of a sudden, all 3 of them went straight up and just disappeared. And they were gone in a split second. And the rest, we're all standing there looking at each other going, did you see that? Did I'm not crazy, am I? And everybody was like, no, I saw it too. We never discussed it with
Yes,
anyone outside of that little group because
outside
back
of your
then they
group.
would have put
Yeah.
you in the hospital thinking you were
Oh,
either
yeah.
on drugs or were
Yeah.
having a mental episode. Um, so for people who even back in the day that would come forward with that stuff, and that's kind of when MUFON and all that started to
Well, and
become
that's
an
why I was
actual
scared to
group
death.
of people,
Yeah.
you know, and people
Yeah.
started
As an
realizing
academic, it's career
that,
suicide. Yeah. It's
yeah,
self-harming
it's
if
as an
you
academic, you
are
would not be able to
woo-woo
teach
and
anywhere.
not, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Wildest
no.
thing,
But I'm
um,
getting old now.
I do a little short, like 10-minute reading on my lunch break every day. I call it my
Yeah.
lunch break musings.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Thursday, I'm out because I go sit outside for my lunch every day. And Thursday, I
Yeah.
was sitting out there and I had finished eating and I'd just taken my cards out, started to shuffle when one of my coworkers came out, was laughing. Oh, there you are. I was looking for you. And just wanted to see what was up and everything. And we were talking and he realized I was sitting there shuffling cards. He's like, oh, you're getting ready to do one of your readings. And I'm like, yeah. And he says, yeah, we
That's
watch you upstairs. And I'm like, excuse me? He says, oh, well, me and a couple of professors and stuff. And he says, even the other secretary, who's like the other end of the spectrum when it comes to spiritual beliefs and political beliefs, right? We're like totally apart. So those are two topics we never discuss because, and we're friends as long as we don't delve into those two topics. And she's a sweetheart of a person, but he's like, yeah, there's quite a few of us that we watch you and stuff. He says, I don't know if everybody agrees with what you say, but we'll tune in sporadically and we'll be watching you. And it just blew my mind because I never in a million years knew that. I know most of the faculty know that I have a YouTube channel, but they've never said anything about watching any of the shows or anything. And so it just like blew my mind Thursday afternoon when he's like, oh yeah, there's some of us will watch you, when we're hanging in the office or something. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Because
Well, and that's wonderful.
sometimes I can get very opinionated about certain topics, and so I'm like, okay,
Mm.
well, nobody's called me on the mat yet, so I guess I'm okay. But
You're fine, and you keep it to yourself. You don't say I represent a particular institution or not. Disclosure
yeah,
starting
I mean, I
already,
don't.
so it's okay to be an experiencer, and it's okay. Like right now, even Stephen Greer, and last week I saw one of his most recent postings. And if you don't know Stephen Greer, guys, he's a doctor, former emergency room doctor, who's also working really hard at the government levels to make disclosure transparency for everyone, because for years, since the 40s, since the um, devices were happening, and which ended World
Yeah,
War II, that kind of stuff, they've been visiting. And actually, the United States were, I'm speaking we, I used to be over there, I'm over here now. But back in the States, they retrieved a live one, and he's a Palladian. And this is, why do I know this? I watch on the TV, it's a pay for channel called Gaia, and they have a former OSS officer from the Air Force called um, um, Richard Doty. Really lovely guy. He's an officer, and he used to be one of those
I've heard of
people that
him.
used to do disinformation to people, right? And like cover up stuff. Well, he's come out with all these retired ex-military people, and they're calling a spade a spade. They're saying, "Hey, look, this happened." Well, they got an entity. He was a guest. Read into that one, right? At Area 51, yes, that's where they were, in an area out there, which is a large area of Nevada, by the way. I used to live in
Yeah,
Nevada. I have a lot of Nevadan history in my family, so we're aware of it.
yeah,
Anyway, Richard Doty said J Rod was the one that was responsible for the secret, dark, dark, dark programs that enabled people from the United States to be able to build ships and actually go explore space. And it gets even crazier. Listen to this. This was just released like in the last few weeks on Gaia and a show called Cosmic Disclosure, which I watch religiously because it is fantastic. And they are all verified true whistleblowers. It's crazy. They were able with J-Rod, he's a Palladian. And remember, thousands of stars. So he represented one group of peoples or entities, whatever you want to call them. Bipedal, meaning 2 legs, 2 arms, big head, small mouth, slit kind of eyes, kind of looks like a gray, but not, but bigger. Okay, not like the Nordic types. I always used to have this wrong misconception that Nordics are like the Nordic peoples, like Sweden and Norwegian looking, tall, blonde, all that kind of stuff.
I'm going to interrupt you
yeah.
for a minute.
I start with it.
Yeah, please do.
Y'all remember Spaceballs?
Spaceballs.
Spaceballs?
Yes.
They're making a Spaceball 2. Rick Moran is coming out of retirement to be what was.
Oh, is he?
He's reprising his role as Dark Helmet.
I love that. Rick Moran's
all the actors and actresses who are still alive is coming back to reprise their role.
Son's coming. Is going to be in the cast.
Oh, yeah. Wow. I want to go. I'm going to go see that.
And John Candy's son.
Yeah, John Candy won't be there. He played Barf, and but his son's going to be on, and Bill Pullman's going to be there, and who played what was it, Lone Star or whatever his name was.
That's
so I just he just came in and he was like showing me, and I was like, okay, I got to show everybody Dark Helmet.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's awesome. I
can't wait.
Soup
Nut, something like that. So, yeah, I mean, just like the first time I saw the original Star Wars, I was just floored, and it was in that moment that.
Mel Brooks, who's 98.
Yeah, by Mel Brooks, who's 198, who's
wow,
he's amazing. Dick Van Dyke,
right, Katie.
Ready to turn 100. It's like,
I know, that's crazy with all that dancing and singing. He's a happy dude,
and he's still doing it. That's what's amazing.
Can you imagine? I'd be riddled with arthritis by then. My Lord. But anyway, thank you for that. Aside, so just real quickly, let me finish my story and then I'll stop. And then you guys can ask any questions or points. And I actually saw somebody's family member served at Area 51. So this J-Rod guy helped these dark ops people build a ship, send it through portals. And this is from a former military guy on Gaia, okay? This is mind-blowing. They were able to time travel in this ship at various increments. And they were able, through the mechanism in the ship, to create some kind of tether to bring it back to the time zone reality they were in. Now, the real interesting thing is they did a trip that was 1,000 years ahead, came back. They did one 4,000 years ahead, which I'll tell you about. Then they did one that was more, and there's no Earth there. There were actually 4 versions of Earth that were in like these bubble things. It sounds fantastical, but think about the tech and stuff. And look at, in my lifetime, computers came to be, and many of yours, right? Computers to AI to now this quantum stuff. Our lives are, our children and grandchildren are going to have a way
look at it
different
this way. If
life
Avengers can do it, the rest of us can do it too, So
may the shots be with you.
My mind is totally open to any of that.
Yeah. But the
that
thing
can
was,
happen, and I've had enough.
So this.
I've had enough spiritual experiences to know that there are things above my understanding that I just have to take it on faith that, okay, that happened, and just leave it at that, because I can't prove it. I can't disprove it, so all I can do is just say, okay, it happened, and then.
Well, I base it on the believability of these people, and anybody who's been in the military or knows somebody who's been in the military, and the oath that they take to the Constitution, which you all know clearly about, by now, in light of recent political events in the world. But my dad was very high up in the military. He's passed on now, but he was such an honorable guy, and you get a vibe for people. I just trust what he says. And the pilot came to him that piloted this thing with the entity, J-Rod. This is just nuts. But I'm just like, wow, how cool. So 4,000 years in advance, what they were able to do, something like an electronic EMP niche grabbed their ship, right, brought it down. The cities were above the water. Earth still looked good, so thank God we didn't blow it up. So that's going for us. If that's 4,000 years in the future, right? And it was clean and pristine, but the humans had tech. They were integrated more with tech, but they were still humans. But their bodies had changed a lot. They wanted to know about the breathing systems that were different because, here's an ancient example. One of our ancestors from 4,000 years ago, so they took this machine and zapped a copy of the pilot to see how his organs were different than theirs. It's crazy. If this is true, this is like more than science fiction. It's fantastic, is what I'm saying. And I was just happy to know that humanity was still around, and the people were kind. They didn't put the pilots in prison or anything. Like, God forbid, we do that here to other beings, right? I mean, so it's just a very different, more evolved, I think. But their vocabulary was very different because the tech was different. Even though they were speaking English, it was really hard to discern what they were talking about because they were just so, different. So that's all it was. But anyway, so yeah, CE5 protocols. That's right, Brian. And I've got it on my phone, and I'm getting my kids to do it with me this summer when we actually get a clear day. Yes, thank you, Glorio. How do I say it? Glorios. Glorious. Yeah. So I was just like, I don't have anything to do with Gaia, but I got it because I wanted to know, because I was getting these connections and contacts with these beings, and I'm like, okay, I've gone mad, but I'm not. I'm still logical. But the fact that I question if I've gone mad doesn't mean I'm mad, right? It means that I'm not mad, right? The fact that you question it, that you're aware that this sounds really odd, that means you're okay. I've been told. So I'm like, okay, good. So I'm not hallucinating or anything, but that's your story. You take it or leave it. If it's fantastical to you, this is from Richard Doty, former OSS officer, retired. The pilot came and found him and wanted him to let people know about the story because disclosure needs to happen now. We are not alone in the universe, but I get the whole religious question. So, people are worried what's going to happen to the world with the religious stuff. So I don't know. I'll leave that one there for you, but. So yeah, wow.
The glorious 4458 said, Dr. Ann is so fascinating.
Thank you. Well, if you're here, we'll go for
and
a cup of
Rose
coffee.
wanted to know how about bathroom facilities.
Well, they didn't. Oh, in the aircraft. That's a really good question. Oh, I do know this. This is fascinating, and he did spend a lot of time talking about this. When you go through a black hole, so they were going through these portals. What happens to you as you go through it? You become pixelated. Do you know what pixelation is? It means
yeah.
When everything kind of gets grainy and then the image gets distorted. That's what happens to your body in the aircraft, even though you're protected in the aircraft. And the first time
it's called the transport. Star Trek's been doing it.
And then when they came out the other side, they were like, oh, I can't see my hands. It took them like 3 hours to see their legs and arms and hands to get reassembled at that molecular level, I guess. So what they did was to fix that for future trips was to put them to sleep while they're in that. So that
would be a little disconcerting to be looking at yourself going, okay, well, while I'm here, can we shave off some of the fat that's
I know.
It could be a new way to lose weight. Just go into the pixelation state, and then they can just shave off what you don't need and give you that perfect body. Why not? Right?
Crazy. Yeah.
I'm open to anything at this point. I have seen
Well,
and
remember
heard
J-Rod,
and
look it
lived
up.
with.
J-Rod. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
incredible.
mean,
It's
I have
fascinating.
seen and heard and learned about so many unbelievable stuff, especially since I finally opened the door back up and said, okay, I know that y'all are there. I guess you can come back now. and
Yeah.
and so and it just kind of takes time to reawaken that, I guess. You know, a lot of people,
Mm.
because I'm a firm believer that everybody's psychic. We all have abilities. We just aren't all plugged in to ourselves, much less to source to
Yeah.
use those abilities. And
Yeah.
it's going to manifest itself in a quadrillion, million, jillion different ways for each person because no two people are alike. We're all unique and individual. So
Yep.
it's
Yep.
uh it's one of those where it's like, okay, I know that I know things. I have no way of proving that. I have no way of proving to somebody that I hear them talk to me in
Yes.
my left ear, which is my partially deaf ear. And that's the one that they talk to me in. I think because it can't hear as much of what's going on
Background
around me.
noise. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so
That's
it's like a
awesome.
natural filter. And so that's the ear they talk to me in. And I remember hearing voices talk to me when I was 4 years old, you know.
Yeah.
And people would come in the room and ask who was I talking to, and I would just say God, because that's what I equated that voice to. I don't know who it was I was talking to. Maybe it was the God. I don't know. I don't care. All I know is that it was always there to help me. It was
Yeah.
never there to harm
That's
me.
see,
Um,
it's benevolent,
and
right?
are
It's
there
good.
bad
Yeah.
ETs? Well, of course there are bad ETs.
Yeah.
Just like there are bad people. I mean,
Yep.
and
Exactly.
so it's learning discernment. Just like you don't
Yes.
get in the car with just anybody you run into
Yeah.
willy-nilly that you've never met before, because you don't know
Yeah.
what's going to happen if you get in their car and what they may try to do. Well, it's the same thing I would think with an ET is you're not going to have one come in your house or go take a trip on a spaceship just because he
Yep.
pops down and says, hello, hop in, I'll give you a ride. I mean, what if it's a ride straight to a dissection table? I mean,
Well, I mean, I think,
yeah, I would think you
yeah.
would pick on
Mm.
those vibes, but maybe some people don't. I mean, some people, I mean, I'm so ready for them to make their grand entrance of you
Well,
are not alone. And yes, we are here to
well,
help you worldwide in public where
yep.
everybody everywhere sees it, experiences it. There is no question as to what it is. And I
Yeah.
think probably a good portion of the world is going to celebrate because most of us already know they're there. We're just waiting
Yeah.
for them to show themselves.
Well,
But
I
there
can't wait.
are that
Yeah.
small contingent of people
Well,
that will not be able to handle that information because
yeah.
it's going to go against everything that they have ever been taught or
Yes.
learned in their lifetime. And
Yes.
their brains are not going to be able to
Yeah.
that concept that
Mm.
yes, there is life on other planets.
Right.
Yes, there are more than just this little blue ball of rock
Yep.
floating around in the sky. Um, and I think sometimes I feel like they're waiting until there's a certain percentage more of us who are open to it. That's going to help the others kind of understand what's going on because
Yeah. Well, and remember
um,
we had those senatorial hearings where people came to the government
yeah,
and talked to our government. So that's soft disclosure. So they're doing what's called soft disclosure. We have these hearings. These are not crazy people. They've been verified. They've had tests done. Their first person narrative stories, like from the source. So these are the people that witnessed and saw these things. These are the people that have done it. I've seen things in the sky. Now that I recall stuff from my childhood, because I was so traumatized in my childhood, now that I'm starting to go back and revisit, there was a lot going on there that was definitely different.
Yeah.
That was connecting with other beings, that was doing this, that was, I didn't understand it. My parents were quite devout. So, I didn't have support, so I closed it all down. But now that I've meditated and gotten out of my head and stopped intellectualizing everything, because, and as an academic, what do? You intellectualize everything. That whole part of my heart and soul is just coming out and going, it's like, wow, I feel very grateful for it. But so people, even Dr. Stephen Greer said in his last thing last week, he said, yep, it's soft disclosure. Everything's happening now. So in the next few years, we'll know more. Sterling Psychic Medium said in 2 years' time, we'll know a lot more. And that'll be like the official on the stage. Here, meet a hybrid person. They're actually from da 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 da. This is how I know they're a hybrid, da da da. And then that person will talk, right? It'll start slow so people can handle the fact that, okay, yeah, they have missions on Earth, right? and then it'll go. Then it'll go to the weird stuff towards the very end, because the people will just be overwhelmed by it by then. It'll be like, okay, what's new? An octopus is going to come talk to me. Well, yes, one will, or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah,
But,
it's
yeah.
There are just so many different, just a multitude of different options and ideas and possibilities in our world that we as human beings can't all grasp. And even those of us who are open to it, who've had experiences with it, or who want to have experiences with it, even we come across things that would happen that would make us step back a minute and go, wait a minute.
Yep.
That's a little too much for me. And I think
that happened to me. That happened to me.
They're able to adjust what they give us so that we can accept what's going on.
Exactly.
I've not ever experienced it in my life that I'm aware of. Who knows? Maybe they've come and talked to me when I've been asleep and I just wasn't aware of it. But I would be the first one to raise their hand and say, yeah, they came to me last night. They were here. I talked to them. I know that they're real.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, the first time you see one, at least for me, I was speechless. I'm sorry. Your eyes are really beautiful. And you just, you become dumbfounded because you stare, because it's so out of not normal. It's not, for us, because we haven't been brought to it or, discussed. And the first time, I'll tell you what, the first guy that came to me that was, blue.
We've been kept in a state of ignorance. We've been kept in a state of ignorance. And then loaded up with fear that were something like that to happen to us, to our face, in our face, the reaction would be either complete meltdown and we would crack. Or it would be overwhelming fear and we would attack. And I think that that's what they are aware of, is there are still far too many attackers on this planet. Because I think with those that would go into full meltdown, they would be able to help them because they would have the knowledge of how to help repair that. But the attackers, I think that they worry the most about, because I know if I went somewhere to help out, I wouldn't be done away with,
Well, the thing with this J-Rod character is, okay, so this gets a little mental, guys, because it's time traveling. Remember, I talked about the time travel periods that they did this. It was, the Operation Chronos, like time, the Greek word for time. That's it.
The Y-Files is really good with picking up on a lot of
the Y-Files is fantastic. I saw
And
an
they break
interview
it
with
down
him.
into like little 30-minute
Yeah,
episodes, just
yeah,
with just enough humor involved in it that
that's
while
awesome.
you're watching and laughing about it, you get to the end of it and you're like, well, yeah, I could see that happening.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know, and
So if he's a time traveler and he got stranded on Earth and taken, or a guest of the U.S. government, and he actually helped these guys fly into the future and give all this amazing tech. Once they figured out how to communicate with each other, that English people, and instead of telepathy. I mean, imagine going
yeah,
from all this amazing way of communicating, having to use your mouth with words, and your mouth is not working properly, right? But if they could do that time travel and tether them back, so clearly that was part of his mission, because couldn't he have just time traveled here to be here at that time to give humans that tech?
yeah.
Maybe, right? So we don't know. But that's how I think. Anyway,
Well, I'm like,
but
I'm ready for y'all to come down here, one, just to show the haters and the ignorant ones how wrong they are, and say, everybody can change.
yep.
It's just you can change and step into the light, or you can choose to stay into the dark.
Well, if they say it's true and we're all star seeds, meaning we're all, our genetics have been added to, if this, remember, this is that school of thought. I don't know for sure. I haven't seen any academic research on it, which is its own thing. But if we're all star seeds, they are coming down to see how their projects or their beings are going. I think they have some awareness of our warlike, bellicose nature. Bellicose means warlike. But I think when they actually witness it, they're kind of shocked. At least I would be. If I were like that amazing J-Ride fella, like he made it.
Yeah,
Apparently, he even had no concept of the word money. They didn't use money. Everything was taken care of for them in their society. So he had to
hmm
learn what money meant. I mean, and that's the whole point of the capitalist thing, right? And maybe we could go down that conversation line if you needed to, but you know what I mean? So imagine a being not knowing what money is, or even bartering, meaning I'm
yeah,
gonna make this for you and you'll give me food. That's just goods to goods, right? That's called barter, a barter economy, which is a predecessor to money, right? To be able to buy things, which is why we've got jobs and all that stuff, and retirement plans if you got one or whatever. Um, yeah, imagine being in
I like what
society where all
Brian
your needs
put.
are taken care of. Yeah, you got it, mate. You got it. Sorry, we say mate here. That just means you got it, mate. Good on you, mate. That means good for you. It's just an Aussie Kiwi thing. We say that. But you got it, mate.
Exactly. And I agree with Katie. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff that they're not releasing publicly because they don't want the
Yeah.
current administration to have their hands on it.
Yeah, and
Because they
that.
know that it would be
Oh,
used for evil, not good.
oh my gosh, on Substack, Sherry, and everybody here. I couldn't believe it. I read an article that Trump actually used. He looked at the footage of that big talk to all the military heads. They used AI to see who was engaged and what their faces. They AI engine to read the video to see who was engaged and not engaged to target those people. That was on
Yeah,
Substack.
yeah.
I how that's
Because
nefarious.
something I had never seen happened that day. And that was the President of the United States entered a room and not one member of the military stood at attention. I have never seen that happen before. They always stand to attention when the president walks in. They
That's,
all sat back, arms crossed like this. Not one clapped, not one smiled, not one, nothing. It was like talking to
yeah,
brick wall cutouts of these
yeah,
people. And what happened, the first thing that happened that very same day
yeah,
is Hedgehog went out and fired the Assistant Secretary of Defense in the Pentagon. This is a person that spent 20, 30 years in this job. This was their career and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what the meaning was behind the firing, but it's basically, it boiled down to, well, they're not like us, so we need to get rid of them.
Yep.
And it's like, that is, I have watched one side scream at the top of their lungs about the other side is doing this, this, and this, and this. And oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, it's so horrible. But yet when it comes down to who is actually doing the stuff, it's the side that's doing all the screaming and pointing the fingers.
Yeah.
Because the other side is too busy trying to clean up the damn mess that they keep leaving for us to deal with.
I think for too long, there's been a minority controlling the majority.
Oh, absolutely.
Way too long. And now, like picking up a rock and you see all the insects and worms, that stone is turned over and now all the insects and everything's just coming out into the open so much. I mean, it's horrific for everyone, even worldwide. I mean, I was talking to my sister on this phone, who's stateside, and she's like, more about what's happening in politics than I do. I'm like, well, hello. It impacts everybody worldwide.
Yeah.
Worldwide, people. Our New Zealand Post will not post to the United States unless you pay an exorbitant amount now because of the tariffs. And that's just one out of thousands, or well, not thousands, hundreds of countries that are not doing that anymore. Unless you pay for it through the nose because of the tariffs. So what does that do for commerce?
Yeah,
Tourism in the United States has gone down like a significant amount. Millions of dollars are being lost.
They are
too scared.
I mean, we were on the verge of so many positive expansions that would have improved our living ability, would have improved our education, would have improved our opportunities of earning a more reliable income so that we could take care of our family, take care of our children, our parents, our grandparents, our kids, our grandkids. And this man could have walked into office back in January and done nothing, just let everything ride on what was already in place. And at the end of 4 years, we would all come out the richer for it. But he couldn't do that because he can't stand for anybody else to be better than his preconceived notion of what he is. He has to be the best and the most loved and the most likable and the smartest and the this and the that, the other. And what's sad is he's none of those things.
Yeah.
He's the caricature of those things.
Yeah.
And doesn't understand when people just look at him like he's a fumbling idiot, because he is a fumbling idiot and has no clue what the hell he's doing. And he hired people to work all for him and around him and in the government who also don't have a freaking clue what they're doing or how to do it. And they got rid of the career people that had been doing it all of their lives and could do it blindfolded with both hands tied behind their back. No, they got kicked out,
Yeah, that's
that. I mean, it's just like when I hear people bitch about, well, it takes forever to get this done at a government office or to get this paperwork filed or whatever. And I'm like, and why do you think that is? Well, because, they just need to get rid of it. I said, no, maybe they should properly fund that organization and properly staff it so that it is efficient. I said, that would be like opening a McDonald's or a Burger King, and you stick a 15-year-old in there who's never operated a cash machine, who's never cooked on a grill or with a deep fryer, who's never handled a drive-through window, and you put them in there, and then you take out all the people that have been working there for quite a while and know what they're doing, and you tell the 15-year-old, okay, you got it.
Yep.
Well, now how efficient do you think that restaurant is going to function?
No, it won't. It won't.
It's not, it's like
Mm.
the government is like a giant wheel that is propped up by all of the spokes that go around the wheel. The more spokes, the sturdier the wheel is, the more reliable the wheel. When you start knocking out spokes, then that's what makes that wheel wobble or cave in some spots or completely just fall over and be done with. And so it amazes me when I hear people complain about, well, this doesn't work and that doesn't work. And it's like, well, yeah, what did you expect? I mean, when you cut staff down by 2/3 and you cut income down and you cut the budget to do anything and you get rid of all the senior people that know what the hell they're doing, what do you expect? Of course, it's not going to be efficient. That's
Yeah.
just common sense. And I don't care what business you're in. And number
Yeah.
two, running a country is not the same as running a business. Running
No,
a business
it's different.
is to make money for the board of directors
Yeah.
and the CEOs. Running a country is to take care of and protect a people.
Yeah.
Two totally different things. And then they want to say, no, we want it to run like a business. So what do? They pick a man who's never been able to run a business, who's bankrupted over 6 of his own businesses, and is a known liar, cheat, and imbecile with any area he's ever lived at, with any whatever business that he puts himself into. And those that have been doing it, it's like, the man's an idiot. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing. All he does is run in, screw everything up, and then want to sue everybody because it doesn't work. Well, of course it doesn't work. You went in and screwed it all up. What do you expect? It's like,
So yeah. So what? I mean, people can act, by writing or by participating or by all of the above, right? But what about the mental health and well-being of all? I mean, the world is. I don't know. We're even finding at work everyone's mental health and well-being is tanked because the not only economic factors, being able to buy meat and just the basics for yourself. And I've seen stuff on Instagram and how bad it's gotten stateside. I mean, we live on an island, so things are expensive anyway. But at least it's a dairy country. It's a agricultural kind of country here, so we have some self sufficiency, but it's still pretty expensive, or dear, as they say. Everything's dear, right? Um, but what can be done to help? What for So there's a study. The reason why I'm asking this is because there's a study called the Maharishi effect, and basically in 1993 I'm looking at my other screen here. There was a group of people that did transcendental meditation, and about 4,000 people in the Washington D.C. area, and they found that when they did this meditation at the same time, that crime dropped by as much as 23% during this time period that they were meditating. So it's actually a proper study. It's called the Washington D.C. Demonstration Project, and also there was one conducted in the UK called the Merseyside UK, 1988. A group of meditators in the Merseyside metropolitan area of England reportedly reduced the crime rate by 13.4% by getting a group of practitioners together and having a real intensive meditation to bring down that energy.
Yeah.
So a little makes ripple waves effects through the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
The changing the energy a little bit there. So I know it sounds woo-woo, guys, but we've got all this other woo-woo stuff happening, and you guys are woo-woo. You're here, right? So but what I'm
Yeah.
saying is you've got to keep that practice up, because it does impact, even though you can't see the effects and everything seems to be a bad news item every day and keep getting worse. You've got to keep up those practices, not only for your own mental health and well-being, but for everybody else's. to create environmental conditions for people to come to a table and talk, to create environmental conditions to be able to diminish the warring stuff in those areas of the world, you know. What was the name of the
Uh,
series?
it was
Cosmic Disclosure. Yeah, Cosmic
Cosmic
Disclosure.
Disclosure. Okay.
There's 28 seasons of it. 28. Okay, it's gotten better so I watched all of them over time. It's on Gaia TV. You have to be a member. I'm sorry, it's a subscription they're based in the States, Gaia. Just look them up and you can join. They also do things like conventions and all that stuff where you can meet Linda Moulton Howe, and you guys know her. You know, she's the one that did the cow mutilation stuff and crop circles
Yeah.
and written amazing books and experiencers and
Now, there's a lot of
Stephen
stuff
Greer,
that gets kind of
like all these, yeah.
trimmed up and gets put on YouTube for anybody to watch and see.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. So so it's not yeah, and that really, I mean, some of the stuff you're like, what? And then, and then I realized, wow, if this is true, then there is hope. And like that flying in the future and coming back. I mean, I know that sounds incredible, but it's a thing. It's true. It's real.
Well, and most people our age, maybe 10 years younger, we grew up on Star Trek and
Yeah.
the
Yes.
Jetsons. It's like, where's my
Yeah.
flying car?
I love that.
Where's my
Yeah.
flying car and my robot
Yeah.
maid? Hello.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
Why has
we've
technology not
got a
evolved like it used
robo
to?
vacuum, but it's
Yeah.
not the same as somebody actually cleaning. And
Yeah.
like, where's my flying? Why don't we have flying? Why are we still using gasoline to power our vehicles when we've known for 50 plus years that that's the worst thing to use for transportation because of the harm it does to the environment? And it's already been proven that the oil and gas companies knew this 50, 60, 70 years ago. And they were like, yeah, we don't want to reconfigure for the new stuff. Just keep going.
Yeah, exactly.
New stuff,
Pardon me.
charge people for sunshine. You can't charge people for wind, I mean, and no,
I
it
pulled a
doesn't
card
mean
for
if
you.
you have a, go ahead.
Do you see that, Sherry? Everybody, have you
Vision.
guys seen this?
Yeah.
It's the crystal. It's backwards on my screen. But it's a crystal mandala oracle by Alana Fairchild. She used to be a lawyer in Sydney, Australia. Sue Toffee, if you're here, you're from Sydney. You probably could go to her workshops. It'd be really cool. And she is a profuse channeler, right? Does these incredible cards, and I love these. So these are mandalas with crystals in them, and anyway, I loved them. And so while I was talking, my guides were telling me, "Hey, get this deck out." And so mandala, you stare at a mandala, and it gives you certain energies and things. So it's talking about lapis lazuli, and if you know anything about here, my prayer beads are like that. They're made out of lapis lazuli. Which is supposed to open up your third eye, so your vision, right? So
Yeah.
talking about the Maharishi effect, right? If you meditate and go within, clear out that negativity and keep that whatever, allow those things to come in, it comes in through the here to your systems. So it says, we bring you the gift of vision and inspirational insight from which you shall derive energy, motivation, and a sense of purpose. You have many abilities and the capacity to do numerous things with your talent, time, and energy. We know your heart yearns for meaningful, focused purpose. You have things you want to accomplish, perhaps so many at times you may feel as though you are attempting to live more than one life in this lifetime. We know you can benefit from a vision, something that integrates all you want to do in one unifying purpose. Even if you do not see how it is possible for all your talents and dreams to be woven into one master vision, we know that love makes all things possible according to its own creative intelligence and wisdom. The universe shall take care of the details, and from the loving universal mind, in accordance with divine timing and your own readiness, we shall gift you with your vision. Oh, I just got goosebumps. That's really cool.
Yeah. Y'all, you can get this Oracle deck, the Crystal
Oh, cool.
Mandela Oracle deck,
Yeah, it's
um,
gorgeous. Isn't it gorgeous? It's like got really
for
stunning.
like under $30 on Amazon.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's a beautiful deck. Look at this one. This one's amazing. Anyway, I just love it.
yeah.
It's super powerful. So I don't break it out, but I was told, nope, you gotta break it out. So I'm like, okay.
I have a Crystal Oracle deck. It's not this one, but this is, I mean, it looks like the most expensive one here is $32, and the cheaper one is $17.
They have smaller
But
ones. They have smaller sized ones and big ones, like a pocket version, and then these big ones. But I like they're just what she recommends you do is you stare at the mandala and you focus on it, and like there's this whole thing. But this is a very it's crystalline energy, so it's like it really helps focus you. It's amazing. And lapis lazuli, that's so perfect for right now. We need to be able to keep the noise out, and there's so much noise and so much fake news right now, right? And
yeah,
keep that noise out and keep focused and in universal timing with love, right? And that heart-centered energy is what really is going to get us through everything, but beyond get us through, make it strengthen and be stronger. And I think that's really significant to create that ripple effect. Exactly, Cayenne. That's awesome.
yeah. I mean, they've got, it looks like the regular Oracle deck. I'm assuming it comes with the book.
Yeah, and she
I'm
does have a
not
channel.
seeing,
Yeah, she Alana Fairchild. There's some good Aussie, really amazing spiritual Aussie people that are in the mix as well. I'm sure you've seen a lot of channels and stuff, but Alana Fairchild's
yeah,
really
they've
quite
got some
interesting.
beautiful pictures here of some of the cards. It's just like,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
And it lists her
Amazing.
website and stuff as well. So,
That's nice. Hmm.
that's cool. I mean, and y'all know I'm a cardaholic.
You
Damn
and
well I'm
Allie.
going out and
You,
buying that deck sometime today. Um, so
sorry if I
I
ruined your
mean,
budget there.
when I see cards like that speak to me, and that
Oh, awesome.
the beauty of the pictures. I mean, whether if it's
Yeah.
like a real picture or something that's just like a watercolor
I mean,
picture or
you're
something.
just,
It I mean,
I mean,
yeah,
she's,
that's like buying um
it's pretty amazing. I
uh,
mean, yeah.
Trish James books, her prediction
Yeah.
deck and all of her other decks. I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
and it's her. She creates all the artwork. She creates the books that goes with them, and
Mhm.
she gives the PDF of the book of the deck
Yeah.
for free. It doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah.
And I mean, the cards are basically designed in a way for you to just use your intuition, but
Yeah.
sometimes it helps to go look at what her intention for that meaning for that card is, because it
Mhm.
may lead you in a different direction than where you were going to
Yeah.
begin with.
Yeah.
And so, and yeah, it's a little bit more expensive. And of course, you're ordering it from Australia, so it's coming from the other side of the world. Its shipping's going to hit you pretty hard, especially with all the damn tariffs we got right now. Um,
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
it's from Australia, so it'll be cheaper. It'll be cheaper
I
on the US
ordered,
dollar. Yeah.
I ordered a product that I wanted to try for my hair in, when did I place that order? In July. We're in October. I'm still waiting for it to come in. I've written the company twice, and the guy that's selling them has
Oh,
responded and is like, he's like, you're not the only one. They've got a whole bushel of shipments that came from us to the States that are all just sitting in a damn dock room somewhere because they won't release them. And so it's like, well, that was $35 down the toilet because I've not been able to get what it is that they were selling that I wanted to try. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe one of these days it'll finally show up and I'll get it. But until then, I just have to do without, and maybe it
Yeah.
doesn't work at all. And so it would have been a waste of my money anyway. But I would at least like to have had the product to try it and then say yay or nay, I do or don't like it. But it's like, even if I do get it and even if I do like it, I don't know if I would ever promote it because who wants to wait 3-4 months for something to come in?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like on Etsy, you've got the unique artists. Like I got a keywords tarot deck. You've seen those guys. But it was an artist. She said it cost her too much to print them, so it took a while, to get the border color I wanted. She offered a lot of customizations, but yeah. So anyway, learning tarot. I've got another proper tarot decks, but I didn't feel confident enough, so it took her a while to get these to me. But I get it, so there's costs involved, and and of course, if you've got a hopeless addiction, something like tarot cards can't be a bad thing, or different oracle cards, or any kind of deck.
Right. I mean, technically,
yeah,
they're all part of my business. They're part of my world, what I do, and what I'll do full time when I do retire. I'll be able to just go from part-time to full-time in this, and at least that's my goal anyway. So
yeah, that's cool. I think it's good.
But it's expensive to do up your own cards and stuff. I mean, even to find a publisher who will publish them and do it up for you, you're still paying pretty penny for those to be done and go out.
It takes a lot of work. Yeah, it sure does. Unless you're like so famous that, you've got your own publishing company, I mean, but that's a super small percentage of all of us out there doing this stuff, which is okay. But, I think it's still keep up that work, or they say mahi here, which means work. Keep up the mahi tahi, work together as one. Let's keep that community, keep doing your work, keep doing this thing, keep communicating with people, keep using these divination tools, because the veil is getting thinner, and now we're, and with all these massive changes on the horizon, we need to keep connecting with that spirit and with those messages, and our own personal practice that creates that ripple effect of energy, be it a walk in the forest or a swim, and you're able to just zone out and be at peace and
Exactly.
logical calm in the world, right? Yeah, peaceful soul calm in the world. So anyway, awesome.
Well, we've got a couple of questions if you want to try to just answer a few of them here.
Sure, I can do that.
Because we don't have that many. Let's see.
And then I have to go after that because I've got everybody at home staying away
Right. I
from
mean, we'll be
online
able to grab
activity.
a couple of these, and if we don't
Yeah.
get your question, come back tonight for the slumber party, and we will definitely get it done then.
Yeah, let's do it.
First up was Colorado hippie hiker. There's a local teacher strike on Wednesday. Will this affect public opinion positively and affect school board elections in favor of public ed? HIP, the thing that I feel the strongest about with this is, as far as the school board is concerned, is going to be, is the majority of the school board people who have taught in the past and who do favor actual education and the teaching of education, or are they a bunch of hedge fund manager types that are just looking at let's
political leanings?
Put it in private, and you don't need those poor kids to go to school. Put them in the factory, let them go to work for pennies on the dollar. you know.
I got Page of Pentacles on that, so that's yes. This will affect positively and affect elections. So I got a yes card on that with Page of Pentacles. So if you're still here, hippie
There you
hiker.
go. Well, I got the Fool, and that's a yes card too. So
okay, cool, perfect.
That's a new journey, a new adventure, something new coming out of this. So it may be a little rough in the beginning, but I still get a yes eventually. It's going to have a positive effect, because for those schools that have done that kind of thing, it has really made a difference. Yeah.
King of Swords, it'll be kind of fiery energy, but it's yes. So it's not going to go without a fight, but it's King of Swords. So, yeah, that'd be good.
Okay, let's see. Ruby Moon. My son is working on his college admissions essay. He uses AI like ChatGPT. Can the universities tell? Yes, they can.
I can tell you, actually not anymore, Sherry. A lot of universities are killing the tools that use AI to determine the words now. It is a given that they understand AI will be used. What he has to do, if he wants to be ethical about it, is say, yeah, I use AI for idea generation, not the actual writing. However, I chose to use it for these reasons in my application. So they want ethical. Yeah.
I work in the computer science department.
Yep.
And this has been a very, very hot topic with our faculties the past 2 years. And because there have been students and or potential students who have used AI to go in and completely write their stuff.
Yeah, well, they're computer science.
Reads it, and they're reading their own words back to them because it's off the paper they wrote 20 years before, you know. Now that's plagiarism. There used to be a way to treat it. I think just kind of the general feel I get from them now is that this is a really good tool if used properly. It can really help you move yourself forward and write a good paper.
I got it again, Page of Pentacles again. And Ruby, in terms of your son, I got 8 of Pentacles. So doing the groundwork, right? So that's good for your son.
I mean,
because guess what? Employers are going to want him to use it. Yeah.
Yeah, if he uses AI, just make sure that he sources, that he understands he still needs to source where he got his information from. And if he really wants to be impressive with his work, he will then go to those sources and look at the original source material.
Exactly.
And know and that, so that if he gets questioned on that essay, he can honestly say, well, yeah, I used AI to help me get the basic outline of what it is I was trying to say. But then I was able to go to this and this and this and this. And these are what these sources told me about it to help write it. I mean, it's there to help us. It's there to help us be efficient. But it doesn't mean we get to be lazy and just walk away, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't mean I get the whole negative side of it, but just look at it as a guide on the side, right? So it's helping him lift his game. And the job of the university now, or any kind of educational institution, is to give students that basic foundational knowledge in whatever their discipline is, and then teach them how to think critically about that. So involved in that whole process is AI, and how to look and think critically about AI. Use that same question in 3 different engines. Explain to me the 3 responses and why you chose that one response, and then write a reflection based on that. So that's an example of critical thinking, right? So there are different ways you can go about using them to really check whether or not the students get it.
And when you think about
And
it, it's no
yeah,
different than how we used to write
yeah,
papers in college or
yes,
stuff. You would go
exactly.
and read the original source material, you would write your opinion on that piece, and then you would
Yeah,
source it so people knew where you got the information from, and
yeah,
they could go and look at it themselves to see if you're actually giving an
yep,
honest representation of what that material states. And
yes,
you're not just
exactly.
making something up, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I still think
So,
a degree is valid, but get some work experience under your belt first, unless you really know exactly from in your heart you're really super interested in that thing.
yeah,
It doesn't harm you to get what they call here a gap year or a year off to explore different things, research
exactly.
different things, and
A
then go
lot
get
of
the
students
degree. Yeah.
do much better if they take a year or two or three
Yeah.
from between
To
high
travel the
school and
world.
college,
Yeah.
and just get a little bit of experience out of it. I took a
Yes.
15-year gap year from
There
high
you
school to
go.
college.
Perfect.
And when I went back to
Yep.
school, it was really hard at first. I had to learn
Yep.
how to learn it
Hard for
again,
me too.
you
It was
know.
hard. Yeah.
But I found that professors and stuff were willing to work with me a little bit better because they knew taking that big of a gap that I was coming back to school because I was interested in learning something and moving forward with it. Now, of course, I drove them crazy because I kept changing my major every few semesters. Um, to the point that
Yeah.
I finally was
Yeah.
like called into the dean of
Yep.
students office and was told, Mrs. Hinkle, you
Yep.
have too many credits and you have to graduate now. But you don't have enough credits in any one thing to graduate in that
Ah,
college. So
what?
we're tossing you to general studies and you just get your bachelor's of general studies. And that's what
Okay.
I did. So I
Okay.
got my bachelor's in general studies with a concentration in behavioral sciences because most of my stuff was was psych and sociology classes.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
but
By the way, students were using ChatGPT in its beta, meaning testing mode, before it became a publicly known thing. I actually have a member in my household who was using it, unbeknownst to me. Thank you, person in my household. But now that person in my household now knows the importance of research and the ways of learning and knowing and doing, right? So, but
right,
yeah, I mean, there are some things, people are worried about joblessness. Don't worry about that. Just upskill yourself. Just give it a go. Try it out. There are all kinds of
right,
AI.
and
Yeah. Mm,
automated workers and whatnot. That's coming
yeah.
regardless.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
and the
Yeah.
whole point
Manufacturing.
of
Yeah.
government is to, as things become more and more automated and there's less and less human interaction needed, that's why it's more important for a government to be able to care for its people. You know,
Yeah.
offer offer a government should offer a living expense. Everybody, once you get to a certain age and you qualify, everybody's going to get, a couple thousand a month to live off of or whatever they deem as necessary. Universal health care. Well, suddenly you're not having to work a menial job just for the health care, and things like, I mean, there are so many things that the government is supposed to be there to do for its
Well,
people that would
I
improve
mean,
our lives. More people
yes.
would go into self-owned businesses because then they would be free to follow
Yep.
their passion and do what they want to do,
Yeah.
or go into teaching and teach what they know to
Yes.
others. Because
Well,
no matter how
yeah.
automated it gets, people power and people mentality is still going to
Mhm.
be necessary for everything to function.
Can I tell you a story about that,
Yeah,
Sherry? When anybody that comes into this country, whether you're a visitor or not, there's something called the Accident Compensation Corporation. So it's called ACC for short. Everybody that comes in, you pay a levy when you come into New Zealand. If you get in a car accident, break your foot, anything, it's automatically paid for. You don't have to do anything. if you have a job in New Zealand and you break your ankle doing something silly, I mean, I've done a lot of silly stuff in New Zealand. I've broken my wrist. I've had to have surgeries, all kinds of stuff, right? They pay 80% of your wages after the first fortnight, the first 2 weeks for like until you get better. And then they put in a plan for you to get back to work, grandfather you into back to your job. So it's a socialized country. As soon as you say socialistic, social, like everybody goes into the Red Scare 40s mode,
And
thinking
it's not even the
that it's
same
not that.
definition of the word. Yeah.
No, we have elected officials. We have a democracy here. It's
Yeah.
just everybody. My friend, a really dear friend of mine, has gotten the big C word and totally taken care of. And
Yeah.
that person has what you would deem a menial job, but nope. Government's giving that person money. They need it
Right.
just to
Right.
live. Also, the care, the medication, Keytruda, all of it is paid for. He just shows up. That's it. That's the
Yeah.
way it needs to be everywhere in the whole
Yeah.
world.
I mean, if we had universal income where everybody knew that their basic needs were met, they could afford
Yeah.
a place to live, they could pay their utility bill, they could buy groceries and feed their family, their
Yeah.
medical's taken care of, so they're not having to figure out who goes hungry or what bill doesn't get paid to go to the doctor's office or fill a
Yeah.
prescription.
You don't have to go, you don't have to
When you
divorce to get
your
the health insurance
basic
coverage, right?
when you
Yeah.
have
All
your
that.
basic needs met,
Yes.
then that
Yes.
opens up a whole new world for people
Yes.
to
Yes.
go in and do things that are their passion. Now, are there going to be
Yeah.
people who do nothing but sit around and be a couch potato? Sure. It
Or
goes without
that
saying.
whole suing culture. You don't have to sue anybody.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is if you accept the medical care, then you waive your right to sue somebody. So there's none of this having to hire a lawyer because that car crashed into mine. There's
Exactly.
none of that. There's none of that. It's just you're hurt. Let's take care of you. You know, if there's a legal matter, then that's dealt in the proper location, the courts or with a lawyer, whatever. That's separate. You know, it's just let's patch you up. Let's get you healthy and well again. That's all it is.
Yeah. And yeah, Acadian Proud, you're right. Our insurance premiums are getting ready to be raised drastically because the Republicans are trying to completely cut out
Yep,
all
Brian.
health
Yeah.
care. And
Yeah.
when that happens, that means what few hospitals are still open and
Yeah.
what few doctors' offices will take a non-insured patient.
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
going to be paying for that patient?
Yeah. What
We
about the
are. And
medications too?
how,
What about your
and
meds?
exactly, we're going to be paying for it.
Like, what if you
And
need
how do we pay
insulin
for it?
or
Our
yeah.
premiums go up, our copays go up, our medication goes
Yeah.
up. Whereas if they did it in reverse and had universal health care and
Yeah.
medication and dental and vision and hearing so that mind, body, spirit were totally taken care of, that would
Mm.
eliminate a lot of those issues.
And that's calling a spade again. That's Nine of Swords, guys.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
just reading the current energy. Tomorrow could change. You never know.
That's
But
it. Exactly. Exactly.
oh my gosh.
Well, darling, we've been at this
Uh,
an hour and a half, and I know you got other things you got to get done.
yeah,
So,
it's my Sunday. I'm in the future.
yeah, Dr. Rand's coming to us from tomorrow. So we
Without
know
a
that
spaceship.
tomorrow is coming. So we
Yeah,
know
it's coming.
tomorrow is coming because Dr. Rand is there. So
Yeah.
I
And
know
it's
there were a
fine.
few questions that we couldn't get to. I do apologize. If you come
Yeah.
back for the slumber party tonight at 10 p.m. Central Time,
Yeah.
put it in and put a little message in with your question you weren't able to read on it earlier today. And then I'll
Yeah.
put you to the front of the line and your questions will be answered first. And
Yeah. That's awesome.
and so
And I just want to say thank you, heartfelt thanks to you all for being here today. I really appreciate it. And just know that the rest of the world is out for those stateside. We know, and I know, of course, because I'm formerly from there, right? We know that it's going to be okay, and we still love Americans as humans, their family and friends, and I worry all the
Right.
time, but everything's going to be okay. I know.
And
Just take steps with your eyes wide open and be safe. That's all I'm going to say.
that's
But
it.
thank you
That's
so
it.
much for everything.
All right,
Oh,
y'all. Y'all
yeah.
have a great rest of your Saturday.
Thank you, everybody.
See
Really
you back
grateful you're
tonight.
here. Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Don't go nowhere
Thanks,
in.
Sherry.
We'll talk after the thing out.
Perfect. Thank you.